Schools have reserve funds for a couple of reasons. One important role that reserves play is in a school district's long-term planning. Oftentimes, some of the most common reserves would be like your capital reserve, which can be very effective when utilized in conjunction with the long-term capital facilities plan to enable to make those to make that plan come true without resulting in a huge tax implication to the local community. So it does allow you to stick some money aside into reserves for specific purposes to help to meet some long-term objectives of the school district. Another reason reserves and fund balance is maintained is to provide some flexibility in the event of unexpected expenditures come up or unexpected events. By law, school districts can't maintain more than 4% of what's called unappropriated fund balance, and that's money set aside. Think of it kind of as money set aside in a savings account that could be used to cover unexpected expenditures that may come up. It's not restricted, but for schools that, considering the size of their budgets, it really isn't much money to accommodate those types of things. Think of a household with a $50,000 a year budget. 4% of that would be $2,000. So that would be the equivalent of a household not being able to maintain more than $2,000 in a savings account. In the event that something happens to the roof or the furnace or whatever else. It's not a lot of money. Why can't we use reserves to help to bridge a large budget gap? And the answer to that is a fund balance strategy or reserve strategy can be used to help to offset a budget gap, but it needs to be conducted with great care and planning. The problem you run into there is that reserves and fund balance, that's money set aside in a savings account, a bank account. It's not recurring revenue or income of the school district. So you really need to proceed with caution if you're trying to use money from a savings account to cover recurring expenditures. Think of it this way: if your house budget is if you have $50,000 in income coming in your house, but your expenditures are $60,000, and you have to go to your bank account to make up for that $10,000 difference, you can only do that for so long until the money in your bank account is gone, and then at the end of the day, then you still have a budget gap, and you had no money left in the bank account to help to resolve it. That's kind of the same scenario that a school district would be facing as well. And planning would have to take place that if you are pulling money out of the savings account, that you are also reducing, have a plan to reduce expenditures, or have a plan to or anticipate that recurring revenues would eventually be put in place to offset the use of the savings account money. What's a better way? It's always better to be able to support recurring expenditures with recurring revenues. Fund balance, great use of that would be to cover one-time expenditures. So if you know that the tractor has to be replaced and it's a $50,000 or $60,000 purchase, you can use money out of the savings account to pay for that, because once you make that payment, then there's no subsequent payment. It's a one-time expense. So, but for recurring expenditures, like the large portion of the expenditures here in the school district, the salaries, the utilities, and those types of things, in order to have a good budget, those should really be supported with sustainable revenues.